Okay, here's the quick rehash of today's military rifle shoot at the Hillsdale Rifle Club. I shot my Type 99 Arisaka, and you can see there's my spot on the backer, and down there, that was my one miss. Then there was this miss, and then there was this miss up here. So those all were in alignment. That was before I adjusted for the wind when it changed coming from the left. Obviously this one down here, I had a sight alignment issue or something that I did wrong and really messed that shot up. But really, the shot that cost me was this shot right here. I ended up with an 81 in 4th place, and because I had to take a 0 on that. There's 12 shots. You throw away your 2 low ones, but I threw away 3, so I gave up points there. Then I had, they scored this a 9. It's right on the line. I would have taken an 8 there. It's super close. It could have been one or the other. So I had the 3 8s. I had the 1, 2, 3 9s, the 10, and they score these little ones 11. So it's not a bad target other than that mistake and the ones before I adjusted the wind. My hold ended up being to get this, believe it or not, the 11 was the last shot. I made my wind adjustments, and I don't like to take a big bite not knowing what I'm going to get. So it did start coming in. My adjustments started to work. I believe the first shot was right here. And then I think this one down here might have been the second one. And then I realized, oh my gosh, I need to come up. And I came up, and I believe that's when I got this one. And, then I started trying to figure the wind out, and I started bringing the hold to the left. And I ended up holding right about here with the wind. Now in the practice, only a half an hour before the wind changed, I was holding straight on, and I was all in the 9 rings. So I had a lot of confidence that the rifle was printing well. Everything that didn't score well here was all me. It was either sighting errors, in the case of this one down here where I certainly didn't have the sights lined up correctly, and not reading the wind correctly. So we got some things to improve on with that. I was shooting on the farthest, there's 14 lanes here, I think, and I was on 13, which is, and for this shoot was the farthest one set up to the right, and you're against a little bit of a tree line and whatnot. So, it was, I didn't perceive that the wind had changed and was coming from the left. It was quite calm or coming straight at us in the beginning, but I think I was paying too much attention to other things and didn't spend enough thought on the wind. Which, hey, lesson learned. I'll pay more attention to that wind and try to get that hold in there a little sooner, because, when I put this first one, I believe it was down here. I'd have to look at my call sheet. I think it was this one right here was my first shot. I wasn't very far right. So when the second shot was down here, I'm like, oh man, I misaligned the sights and whatnot. I went at it again. I didn't change the windage at all. I kept where I was, and I was more careful about lining up the sights, and that's when I got the one up here. So I corrected the sighting error, got back up to, the elevation was correct, but I didn't add any wind in. And then I realized, holy cow, so it took me 3 shots to figure out that the wind was blowing from the left, and that's ultimately what bit me. So you learn a lot doing these things, especially with an iron sight gun, so it was a lot of fun. I ended up 4th. The scores were all pretty close. I was 81. There was one fellow that was quite low. I don't remember what his was, 61 or something. There was a 73, and then there was a bunch of us in the 80s, 81, 84, 89, and I believe a 91, or was it 91 or, yeah, so I mean, I would to get first place, this shot would have had to have been a 10, or I would have had to get a few points here and there and score something with that one. If this one had scored an 8, it wouldn't have helped. But when you're only scoring 8 through 11, there's no leeway. I mean, it's a kind of a synthetic score, because you get at least an 8 on a shot or a 0. So you're giving away 8 points as soon as you make that mistake. And potentially the 3 that are remaining. So to get to that 91, I would have had to have moved, not only, if this one were an 11, it would have got me there. But, the good thing is the 11 was the last shot. My corrections bracketed in. I was doing the right things. I just didn't start doing them soon enough. If I would have realized what the wind was doing 1 shot sooner, I could have been in the running. I could have easily been top 2, maybe even win, but that one mistake of not catching on, well, it's not really one mistake, the big mistake of not adjusting for the wind right off the bat cost me, because you can throw away 2 shots. You can't throw away 3. As soon as you throw away shot number 3, you're out of it. But, the rifle's doing its thing. Once I hold it in the right spot, it's doing just fine. So this one here was an overcorrection, because what I did is I think I started coming back, and I think I got either this shot or this shot. I don't remember which one. And obviously this one here, I wasn't as disciplined on the elevation as I should have been. I was paying too much attention to the wind, and I got it. But here I overheld. I held too far. I think I was just off the black on that hold up this way. And so once again, I've also noticed that when I don't hold center, or if I don't hold 6 o'clock, if I hold windage, I have to really, really pay attention to my windage, or excuse me, my elevation. Not just with this rifle, but with my other iron sight rifles too. I find that once you start to hold right and you're looking for that black, and this thing's small down there at 200 yards. This is only what, a 12-inch circle or something like that. You hit it or you get a 0. And I think that when I started holding my windage, it's very easy for me to mess up the elevation, because I think I start looking for the edge of that black, with the sight, and and it goes away. So there's a lot to learn on those holds. I need to practice more, on something like this at 200 yards. The range where I shoot most of the time, 200 yards isn't always easy to get. There's a pay range. I'm a member at 2 ranges, but the one has 200 yards, the other only has 100 yards. And then there's a public pay range that's got out to 300 yards, but you start to get some expense racked up there if you spend a lot of time. So I can shoot 200 yards at the range I shoot at a lot, but I have to allow other people to do their things too, because if you're at 200, nobody can shoot at 100, and it's the pistol range isn't usable either. So I try to only do 200 yards there when other people aren't waiting to shoot. But I learned a lot today, had a lot of fun. The rifle's doing fine. The rifle is shooting point of aim. It's me. Poor wind calls, or actually not even a poor wind call, not paying attention to the wind and figuring it out 3 shots too late that I needed to pay attention to the wind. That's what got me. So it's my fault. Say I need to work on that, like shots like this. This rifle, the Type 99, it has a really nice pyramid front sight, and it's real pointy, and I can see it real well. And then it's got a peep in the rear, which is great. It's a relatively large diameter, and I'm finding that I really have to concentrate on getting the point of that pyramid right in the middle of that rear sight. And if you don't, it will change the elevation. So it's something I need to practice on, be a little more disciplined on it, and then when you start to hold off for the wind correction, be vigilant of where you're putting the front sight on the target, and also be vigilant of keeping that front sight in the middle of that rear peep sight. So I'll spend some more time. I've got what now? I shot 17 shots today. So I had 79 shots on the rifle plus today. No, not that many. There were 50, 54, 59, 73, then 5 practice today, 78, and then the match would be 80. It's got 90 shots on it now, so that's where I'm at. 90 shots in to the Type 99. I think if I went back out to that bench right now and shot again, knowing what I know now after I've learned, as long as I paid attention to the wind and really thought about it, I think I could get this score up. But hey, it's time to go get a cold drink, and it's time to get some food. And I appreciate everybody following along with this project. I've had a lot of fun with this rifle. So, the story of the rifle is the day before Father's Day, that Saturday, I went into the local gun shop here that some family friends own, Shupex Sporting Goods here in Jackson, Michigan, and there was a Type 38 up in the used gun area, and I looked at it, and the bore was pretty rough and had been sporterized. And I said to one of the guys, RJ, I said, hey, it's too bad that Type 38's got such a rotten bore. And he goes, we've got another one in the back. And I said, hey, yeah, I'd like to take a look at it. And he brought it out. And, you know, the gun had come in, I don't know if it was a trade or what it was. And I looked it over and you know, and you guys got to see what it looked like right at that point. And I made, you know, I purchased the gun for a very, very friendly price. I mean, extremely friendly. And it was a fun experience. We had a lot of fun with it. You know, the guys down there are really good people, Kevin and Matt and Stephanie. They're all a great place to shop for firearms and your needs. If you're ever in Jackson, Michigan, make sure you get in there. It's a good family shop, and they treat me super well. And I've known these people since I was in junior high school. I, you know, worked in the store when I was in 10th grade and whatnot. And so, I mean, the rifle's been a lot of fun. I brought it home, started the journey to clean it up. You guys have been watching the videos. I've been throwing these shorts up so you could take a look at what I've been doing with it, follow the progress right on through to this match. So the question is now, do I shoot this again next month or do I do something different? I'm going to try to drag some more friends down here to this match. You know, any of you guys that are in the, you know, northern Ohio, northern Indiana area, this is in Hillsdale, Michigan. It's a real low-key event. It's fun. You know, it seems like a couple years ago we used to get 10 or 12 guys, or, you know, maybe it wasn't that much, maybe I'm imagining it, but, you know, 6 or 7 seems to be what we get now. I'd like to see more. You can shoot any military rifle. It cannot be an AR. That's the one caveat. They're trying to keep some classic, you know, war rifle type things going here. It can be sporterized, you know, in a restocked or whatnot. So that's fine. So if you've got a, you know, if you've got a 03 or something that's been put in a sporter stock, they'll let you shoot that. The one thing that does have to be met, though, is it has to still be in a military caliber. So you can have it rechambered. So, like, let's say you have an 03 that's rechambered in 308, for example. That's okay. You can't have a 03 rechambered in 220 Swift. So that's just their rules. However, I would guess that if you showed up, they'd probably let you shoot. It's pretty low key. They want people to participate. So anyway, that's where we're at on this match. I'm gonna say go get some iced tea or something, maybe an ice cream cone, and head back towards home. It's about, I don't know, 40 minutes away. It's not far. I'm in Jackson, Michigan. This is in Hillsdale, Michigan, or close to Hillsdale. It's actually Osseo. But you know, it's a good time. Some good friends and camaraderie, and we're all having fun and all that. So thanks everybody for following along on this Arisaka project, and I'll keep shooting it, and we'll get her dialed in even further, learn the sights a little bit better, and I think I can print better targets with it. I'm not at all unhappy with what this rifle did. Anything that happened here on this scoring not meeting my expectations is me. Got to pay attention to that wind and got to pay attention to that sight alignment. So we'll be right back at it. Probably tomorrow we'll be at the range or something if the weather holds. It looks like the next week might be a little wet around here, but we'll keep working on it, keep chasing it, try to get some more friends down here to do this with us, and thanks everybody for watching.